What's going on, everybody? This is Bronco Juggle, and I just had to come to you with this video. I know I'm late to the dance on this one, but I just watched the remake of Pet Sematary. And believe me, I've heard all the talk about this movie. I've heard how bad it is, I've heard how terrible it is. I've heard a couple people say they liked it. I've even heard one person say they really, really liked it. So I just, while it's fresh in my mind, I want to give you my thoughts. I am going to discuss some certain spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it yet, you don't know what's going on, I want to turn this off now. In this movie, instead of Gage being killed, it's Ellie. Well, that was kind of given away by the trailer. And the way they go about it, it's definitely different. I mean, it's the same, but it's not the same. This film, while giving its salute to the original and to the book, it does kind of take its own path, which is good for a remake, I guess. The thing about it is that everything in this movie just kind of feels blah. It just kind of feels meh. It even kind of feels second rate. The Victor Pascal character, we see him once, it's done, it's over with, that's it. The Zelda character, that's more reoccurring. We get a little more with the mother than we did in the first one, maybe, and that's kind of cool, but it almost makes it to where it's almost like a haunted house movie instead of a possession or resurrection type of film. Everything about this movie is just less impactful. There's no impact. When Ellie dies, there's no impact. I mean, we don't see anything. One of the things that made Gage's death so impactful in the first movie was seeing his little shoe flying in the air. We didn't get anything like that in this one. It just cut away. It cut to the tanker trailer going towards her, and then it cuts away, and we get nothing. There's nothing impactful about the resurrections. There's nothing impactful about the kills. There's nothing but a bunch of CGI used for the kills in this one, and the blood, and you can tell it's CGI, painfully aware that it's CGI. When she slices Judd's ankle, it's painfully aware to be CGI. Now, it didn't look terrible, but it's just, you could definitely tell that that was faked, and I didn't like that. One of the things about this movie that people either liked or didn't like, mostly didn't like, was John Lithgow's performance as Judd. I'm going to have to go in the didn't like column. It's not that he did a bad job. John Lithgow never does a bad job. It just seemed like there was nothing there. There was no emotion, once again, there was no impact. Everything about the character was just kind of blah. And honestly, I didn't have the, mindset of always in the original, always comparing. I didn't. I just watched the movie. And overall, it's not a terrible film, like I said. And I don't really know if it's an enjoyable film. It's not really one that I'm going to rewatch much. It has very low rewatchability. And that's because it's very basic. Nothing happens. The procession of the kids wearing the masks that I thought was a terrible idea, they don't go anywhere with it. Ellie puts on the mask for some reason, which doesn't make any sense. When she's resurrected, when she's a demon child or whatever, she doesn't have that same. And once again, like I said, while watching the film, I didn't compare. But now that I'm talking about them and reviewing, I'm comparing. She didn't have that same menace that Gage had. The child actor that played Gage, in my opinion, does a better job than the child actress playing Ellie, who's older. And then we have the ending. Very different from the original, and I salute them for that. But it, once again, is just kind of blah. You kind of see it coming. You kind of are like, whatever. And it just takes this turn that's just kind of weird. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is just kind of weird. So what are they going to be, like the zombie family living in the house? You know, and they just keep turning people to zombies or whatever? I don't know. I just didn't... It felt like this movie had no point. The original film, it had structure, it had an angle, it had an aim, it had a message to get across that sometimes dead is better. This one just doesn't feel like it has any of that. It feels like it has no identity. Even being a Pet Sematary movie, it feels like it doesn't have an identity. This is the second film in the last few weeks I felt like it had no identity. Even though it's within a franchise, it's within the confines of what it should be, and it should have one, but it doesn't. Guys, overall, the movie's not terrible, but it's not one I'm going to be watching a lot. I may watch it again once in a while, but maybe next time I'll like it a little better. I don't know. Or maybe I'll like it less, and I think that might be likely. The church cat in this one was more intimidating, I'll say that, I guess. Anyways, that's it. This movie's, it's kind of a pass, guys. It really is. Watch it on Hulu. Don't spend the money on it. And like I said, I know I'm late, so you probably already have. I'll probably end up buying it once I get it really, really cheap, just because I'm a completist. And I want to have all the films in the franchise. I've got 1, 2, and I'll have to buy the remake once I can get it really cheap. I'm not going to spend much on this. But overall, guys, it is what it is. I didn't really enjoy myself watching it, but I didn't hate it either. And sometimes that's the worst thing a film can do. This is Bronco Juggalo saying, peace.
Somebody should have told you I'm the wrong one. All fun and games until you see me with a shotgun. Homie, I'm the wrong one.